Hey, great selling Saturday one. That's out of Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery in this Saturday morning with our Selling Saturday edition, episode number 199 of 15 Minutes to Mastery. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Hope you've gotten your day started off well. And if not, that's why we're here, right? We're here each and every day at 8:15 Central Standard Time or Central Daylight Time to be able to get you some information, inspiration, and motivation to help get your day going off on the right foot. And of course, Saturdays we know is all about the sales. Saturday is just about making sure that we are taking on new business, and we want to make sure that it is a day full of appointments, full of progress, and full of helping people. Today, I want to talk to you about a message from Joe Girard. And if in case you don't know who Joe Girard is considered the greatest salesman of all time. He's actually in the Guinness Book of World Records as the greatest salesman of all time. And we'll talk a little bit about him, right? He had a little quote that he had put out, and there's several, obviously. When you're the greatest salesman of all time, you're going to have a whole bunch of quotes, right? But one of them that really caught my attention says, "Spark creates fire." Spark creates fire. It's pretty simple, but it's very deep, goes into a lot of things. But, give you a little bit of backstory on Joe Girard. Joe Girard grew up in the Michigan area. I believe it was Detroit. Parents to immigrant. His parents were immigrants from Sicily. The dad really was one of those people, man, that would complain about everything and anything. And he would complain to Joe as a child. And Joe speaks about that in several books and articles that you may find, where his dad was one way and his mom was another, right? His mom was the one who would inspire him. His mom was the one who would give him love and everything. But his dad was always just a negative person because things weren't working out for him the way that he wanted to. And so he talks about having two different types of sparks that really molded him into who he is and who he became as a person. Now, this guy was always working, okay, and went through a whole bunch of failures. But at 9 years old, started shining shoes. Then he got into just selling newspapers. One of the first deals one of the first things that he talks about really competing for was when he was working for the newspaper company, and they had a contest for all the kids that were doing the newspaper distribution for a brand new bike. And he said that's where he figured out that if he had a plan and he worked the plan, that there was no way he would lose. And he talks about how all the other kids, even though they all wanted the bike, they never were going to work as hard as him. So there was no way that he was not going to win it. And so it's that inner spark, right? I mean, this guy dropped out of high school at 16 and went on to have some other failures along life. But at the end of the day, he's considered the greatest salesman of all time. This guy sold over 1,400 cars a year, 6 different times. And he's still in the books as the greatest salesman of all time. So what can we learn from a Joe Girard, right? And we sell manufactured homes. We don't sell. It'd be great to sell 1,400, right? Wouldn't you love to sell 1,400 homes? There was a period of time where for a whole year, he sold 6 cars a day on average. That's crazy because he had a process to it. He had a process that he followed. He put a system in place for himself that helped him move along in that way, right? But we talk about systems all the time, and we talk about being able to get things done. But today we want to talk about the fact that he had a spark, and we all need that spark. We all need to figure out what is the spark within us that's going to drive us to operate at a high level. You can't just show up on a Saturday and be the really, you can't show up on any day and just be a bump on the log. You got to have a fire behind you. You got to have that spark. You got to have that energy. You got to have, even on the bad days, you've got to be able to move on and understand that this right here, when you walk into the office, it's your sanctuary. that is your place to go and decompress, even though you feel like you're going all the time, right? It's your solace. But having that spark will get you to operate at a high level that'll get you to push through those things that we've been talking about over the last few days, right? When we do have those obstacles, we do have those problems. But the fact that we are in an industry, you are in an industry that can do such great things for you and for your family and everyone around you, there is a need for each and every one of you to have that spark. You've got to be able to understand the blessing that you have upon you to be a part of this industry. That still a lot of people don't understand. More and more people are catching wind of manufactured homes, right? You see all of these investment companies coming into the industry. You see all these investment groups buying all these manufactured home parks. And you see more and more people that normally would not have been in this industry starting to make their way into it because they understand the potential and they understand the market of what's going on and the need for affordable housing. And so that is what you provide. And right now is the time for you to grab a hold of this career and take advantage of it. The fact that you've been in it, whether it's a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, all of these people that are coming into it new, okay, you've got that time on them. However, it doesn't mean that, well, because I have this time, I'm just gonna keep doing what I do and they have to catch up. No, times are different now. And people can catch up in an instant. People are coming in motivated. People are coming in wanting to do great things. And you, my friends, need to have that same type of desire. And Saturdays, especially, Saturdays is all about the sale. And if there is no fire, if there is no passion, and if there is no spark, it's just another day. And these are the days, isn't this when most people say, well, I'd prefer to go in on the weekend because that's when I'm off. And it should be an exciting time. And you should want to get out there and simply find as many people as you can that you can help today. But it takes having that. What is that spark for you? What drives you? What is it that you're after? You need to figure that thing out, so that you can do great things. You know, one of the things that once Joe got this in place, one of the things he figured out is, and as we all know, it's all about relationships, right? This man sent out over 13,000 cards a month, greeting cards to people, birthdays, celebrating everything and anything. It's just that's the type of energy and amount of effort that he put into his career of helping folks. And it was really about helping them out. It was about doing right by them. And that goes to show that even though you are customer centric, even though that you put the customer first, you're really trying to do right by them first, you're going to win. A lot of folks get confused and they think that, man, well, we can't really, we've got to make sure that we are doing it for us. Well, here's the thing. If you take care of your customer, if you're customer centric, if it's about the customer first and truly finding out their issues and making sure that we're keeping them in the right home at the right budget without overextending them, you're going to sell a whole lot more. You're going to make a lot more progress. You're going to be that much more successful. Put your clients first. You will win in the end. And that was Joe Girard's method of operation. He put his customers first, and this guy sold over 1,400 cars 6 different times in the Guinness Book of World Records for the greatest salesman of all time. We can learn something from that. We can learn something about his passion. We can learn. There's so much to learn here. The fact that didn't have the best upbringing, didn't have the greatest education, failed at several different things as an adult before getting into car sales, but he made the most of his opportunity. He brought the energy each and every day, and he was always trying to help people accomplish their goal. He took care of them, which in turn took care of him to the point to where he hired a couple of people to be on his staff out of his own pocket, even though he worked for a dealership. That's how he ramped up even more production. So what is it that you can do? How can you then develop that spark? How can you then develop that fire? How much impact do you make on a daily basis? Because you have to understand one thing. Understand that when you help a family, when you are able to take a family from A to Z, get them into their home, you're not just helping that family. You're not just benefiting yourself and the company that you work for. You've got to understand that the impact that we make when one home is sold is tremendous. You've got people at manufacturing companies that now have orders for windows and shingles and siding and lumber and everything that goes into the home. You've got people at the factory that now can build a home. You've got transport companies that can deliver a house. You've got setup crews working. You've got cities now that are doing the infrastructure of where the home is going to go. Now you've got ongoing taxes that are being charged. And we don't want to talk about taxes too much, right? But the impact that you have by selling one house is amazing. One home does all that. And then not to mention, you're helping a family change their life, change their lifestyle. And you at the same time can do great things for you and your family, your community, your church. That's why we do what we do. At least it should be. But you got to find that spark. You got to know what you're after so that you can make days like today, each and every Saturday, the best Saturday you've ever had, because that is what you are supposed to do. Every Saturday should be chock full of appointments. Every one of you in your sales office should have 4 to 5 appointments lined up, because that's how many people there's tens of thousands of people searching for homes. I talk to you all the time about the 22 million families can no longer buy a home anymore, a site build home. There's no reason why you shouldn't have appointments. There's no reason why your Saturday shouldn't be blowing up for you. But it's all about what you make of it. It's all about what you do with this Saturday. It's all about the spark in you that will then light the spark and the fire in those people out there. So today, this Saturday, I encourage you, I challenge you, I implore you, be the spark for each and every one of those families. And more importantly, be that spark for yourself. You guys have a great Selling Saturday. I hope you have a great one. I hope that you're going into next week already ready to go, but make today the best one yet. We'll talk soon. All right. And if you've not checked out this week's episode of our Manufacture to Win podcast, go on the YouTube page, check it out. It's all about grit, man. It's a short one, but a good one. You guys take care. And as always, I can't wait to meet you.